Right about now, the Funk Soul Brother. Check it out now, the Funk Soul Brother. Right about now, the Funk Soul Brother. Check it out now, the Funk Soul Brother. Right about now, the Funk Soul Brother. Check it out now, the Funk Soul Brother. Right about now, the Funk Soul Brother. Right about now, about now, about now, about now.
Hello, Napshot Nation. It's your boy, Aizam now. This tonight, 9 p.m., the previous show. Okay, it's a bit muted feeling today because a lot of people are down because of the Queen. Games are getting postponed. But I'm not alone tonight. We have two guys, two of my brothers. One from the red side of Mercy. We get my brother from the Causeway Cross, Jeef. What's up, brother?
What's up, bro? I can see a big smile on your face, huh?
Man, of course. What a result yesterday. We will talk about it. We will talk about the result, man. And like I said, it's not only just me and Jeef. We have my Habibi brother from Newcastle, Sunil.
Bibi.
What up, Bibi?
What's up?
All right, man. Okay. So
how you guys doing, man?
I'm good. How about you, Jeef? How's things over there, man?
Everything's good here. I hope you guys are doing good in Singapore as well.
One week break, right? We had a 1 week break.
Yeah, we had a 1 week break, and we also didn't do the Tuesday show because obviously we will talk about it. The games being postponed because of the Queen's death. Country is mourning for 10 days. But we'll talk about it. First and foremost, everyone who's watching this, we have 2 million viewers so far. Come on, man. Come on.
2 million. Come on.
2 million come on. And increasing.
Yeah, share, follow us. If you're watching this, of course you're following us already. But share the love on your social media. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, and TikTok. Okay, let's get it started, man. Okay, first and foremost, that's what we do. Okay, we are gonna talk about the 2 games of the Champions League yesterday. Okay, since I'm the host, I will not be talking about my team. I'm gonna get opinion from my Habibi brother and my closest rival. Yeah,
closest rival.
Closest rival for now. Dude, for now. This.
For now, okay.
Yeah, we see this yesterday.
Man.
This robot man from Norway, Viking. Crazy, man. Crazy. 2-1 result. City won at home against Dortmund. And Haaland scoring that last minute winner. I wouldn't say last minute, but it's a winner.
Final 10 minutes, yeah.
84 minutes.
84 minutes.
Okay.
But the goal, though.
The goal, okay. Let's talk about the goal. Okay. For me, personally, I think when, we are all amateur players, right? Amateur football players. When you are tall, right? Like, what constitute as high foot? It's very difficult. Like if let's say you're facing a defender who is shorter than you, when you raise your leg, is that constitute a foul? Because I think on Twitter the fans were saying that it should be a foul. The goal should have not stand because the Haaland's leg was high above. I think about the same height as the defender, the Dortmund defender. So I think Jeef, start with you. What's your opinion on that, man?
I don't think it's a foul because you don't see. Even the defenders are not even facing Haaland. He's facing the other side, and it's no way it's a dangerous attempt by Haaland. All you can see is very clear that he's going for the ball. And actually, I'm surprised that actually Haaland chose to actually lift up his leg to push the ball in, because any striker would have just used their head, man.
I thought it was easier to hit the ball in.
But
I mean, if you look at it, the way is Haaland, he's a tall striker, right?
Yeah.
I mean, for instinct, like what you say, like Sunil agreed, Jeef, you said, and I agreed. Like you can just hit for the ball, but he had to do what I call a Zlatan lah.
Yeah. Zlatan
Actually,
used to score. Yeah.
I saw a comment that someone actually said, "Zlatan, please get out from Haaland's body for the time being." But the guy is a monster itself, even without him in.
Crazy, man. But I mean, from a City fan perspective, that goal was, I mean, that was Zlatan-ish goal lah,
Mm.
But I think when City's equalizer was from a City's perspective, John Stone scoring that worldy, like
Yeah.
it's shades of company when he scored against Leicester. I
Mm.
mean, to do it that distant is one thing, but as a defender to do it, man, crazy, man. I was looking at the goal like, wow, that's a striker instinct, like whack outside of the box. I
Yeah.
mean, the Dortmund keeper didn't dive. The Dortmund keeper was like thinking, okay, the ball ain't going to go up. You
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That-
Okay,
Yeah.
okay, your opinion, man, about Haaland, the ice.
I think the entire game, I think City was down
Mm,
to a Jude Bellingham, right? Jude Bellingham
Yeah,
scored
Jude
in the
Bellingham, yeah.
56th minute. But then, like, you see, like, the way they came back, like, that's typical City pressure. And then they just dominated, and yeah, lah, they paid off, lah. It's typical City, lah. But it'll be interesting to see, lah, how they. But they have the squad depth, lah. They have the squad depth because as we're gonna talk about, they're gonna face. They have a game in what, 3 days?
mm.
In 3 days, yeah, it's a
In
Saturday.
yeah, it's a Saturday kickoff against Wolves away. So I
Correct.
think, okay, then we will talk about the 7 games, for the weekend. That's going on. That's gonna go on. I think the rest of the games are for Liverpool, United. They're not gonna play. It's gonna be postponed. We're gonna address that later.
Mm.
Okay. Haaland. Okay. For Haaland, what do you think? Is he gonna fire the league? Champions League. Is he gonna fire the EPL? With the rate that he's scoring. What do you think, Jif?
Definitely, because you look at the stats that he has in Champions League before he joined City, he has like yesterday was his 26th goal in 20 games.
Mm.
I think that's crazy, man. The amount of goal he scored for a very young player for him. I remember a lot of people saying him being in Dortmund in a German league is would be a walk in the park for any player there. But now that he make his presence felt in Premier League, I think, like I said, not only that he looks like an alien, he played like an alien as well because that's what striker are paid for to convert those chances into goals. And in regards whether he's a skillful player or he's a fast-paced player, fancy player, you don't need that in a striker. Striker duty is very easy. Get the ball. If you have a chance, score, convert the chances into goals, and you're good. You're a good striker, and that's what Haaland is doing. And he have proven himself this season that he's not a one season wonder, not a 2 season wonder. He's a real world class player. And City really got a very good player out of him. And playing under Pep, I think it's just going to be, uh, him going up there under Pep. Being Pep a great coach. I think he's going to be even more of a beast as the season goes on, man.
Yeah,
If
man. I mean,
if you
Sunil. Okay,
look
come on, Sunil.
if you look at the stats, okay, they say that Haaland always has the fewest touches in the entire game. Sometimes 8 touches, sometimes 9 touches the entire game. But you look at the amount of goals he converts. I think in the post-match interview yesterday, he said, I'm fine with having 5 touches in a game as long as I get 5 goals.
That, yeah, if you look at it, that confidence as a striker, right, at such a young age, right, is very rare. I mean that if you look at it, right, that confidence is, it's only typical of when you talk about players like Zlatan, players like Ronaldo, that kind of confidence that borders on arrogance. But then, it's like they really walk the talk,
Mm.
yeah. So okay, Jif. Okay, let's pick up the questions. The comments. Okay,
We
let's
have
go for this.
Rebuff.
Yeah, come on.
It's
It's a
a
typical Haaland
typical
strike.
Haaland strike. Yes.
Rebuff.
And I mean, this guy is a physical specimen. That goal is vintage Zlatan, and that Johnstone goals. It's like company or even like Cancelo's strike versus Newcastle. Yeah, mentioning about that, it kind of similar to Cancelo goal against Newcastle as well.
Mm.
Yeah.
that I will always call it that out of the box Steven Gerrard worldy or the Paul Scholes kind long this.
You
I
can-
mean, it takes skills, If you look at it, like, even for us, like we play football, right? It's very hard for us to have that power to shoot outside the box, and pop and the control as well. So if
Of course, we will try.
even if we try, like we won't get that kind of worldly, like, because that it takes, even though it takes power, but I think that precision, is like rocket. It's very difficult to control.
Yeah. Even
So,
do it in FIFA is difficult, man.
Oh yeah, correct. That's worldly, man. Oh, okay, okay,
All right, we have Aikal Ismail in the
Hey,
house. Hi,
Haikal,
National
hello.
Nations. Hi, Aikal. Thanks for joining us. Share this video so that the rest can join us as well.
Yeah,
Then we have
man.
Webuff. Haaland is going to pop off, but I'm just scared of one thing: injuries. If he is fit, I'm going to say he's going to get 18 goals or, if possible, 20 goals. I'm surprised that Webuff actually mentioned about 18 or 20 goals, because if you ask me personally,
He's
I
almost
look way
there.
beyond that. I'm looking at him breaking Alan Shearer's record, man, at this pace that he's going.
I would say, yeah, it's a real threat. It's a real threat. I
Yeah.
am looking, and I'm not exaggerating. I say he can easily smack. He can even easily get 30 goals the entire season. 30, 34,
I mean, if
35
he
goals.
stays fit, lah. No, to be honest with you, if he stays
What's
fit,
his injury? What's his injury record, Zam?
okay,
At
because
Dortmund?
the last season that he had in Dortmund, I think the injuries, okay, the injuries were not bad lah in that sense lah. But I think I heard that Dortmund actually sacked their physio team and the medical team, and also their technical director when it comes, because of Haaland's injuries record. So I think it's about managing his injuries and the treatment. I mean, if you look at it lah, like if you have a world class medical team,
Hmm.
you can minimize the, and I think it's in a way it's interlinked lah when it comes to the training, and when, if the training is hard, your injuries are, the injuries possibilities are there.
Correct.
But I think when the fact that with Haaland, I think Dortmund board was quite surprised, like how is he easily injured. It's like he's like the Darren Anderton of our era,
Yeah.
being signaled, when he was at Dortmund the last season, especially. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, like if there's any Dortmund fans who are watching Bundesliga.
But looking back at his injury record, the longest he's been away is for like 40 over days. And that is only 7 games that he missed. So for me, it's not too bad. Even without the 7 games, I think he still achieved 30 goals with the pace that he's going, man.
Yeah, and I think also when it comes to City, right? From what I know with the way the City medical team, I'm sure that there is if you look at it, most of the games that Haaland start, right, he will never finish 90 minutes.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think that's the way of Pep, trying to rotate and also to minimize the possibility of Haaland being injured.
Injured, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, now we're talking. We're gonna bring the boy from London, the white half of the London. Call himself the Banterlad, and we're gonna banter with him because his team lost to Sporting. Let's welcome Noah, the Banterlad.
Hello, boys. Welcome, man.
Hello, yeah.
What happened? What happened, Noah? 2-0. What happened?
Nothing to say, lah. I mean, I watched the whole game. I watched the half. I watched the last 45 minutes of the game. I just couldn't take it. I just knew we were gonna concede.
Then,
So.
as in, they played poorly, or
Yeah.
was it Sporting? It's Sporting, right? Sporting was.
Yeah.
How was Sporting?
Uh,
I totally didn't catch the game, but yeah.
I think we defensively was okay. We were sound, but I think the final pass, the final third wasn't there, lor. Just missing quite a few chances here and there. Then
They
just killed the game like that, lor.
they played Richarlison, San, Kane
Yes.
the whole game.
Wow.
Then
Did-
they took out Sun for Kulusevski.
Did Richarlison cry after the game?
We don't know about that, lah. Maybe he cried, lah.
Yellow card.
Yeah, but talking about Spurs, Conte's record in Champions League is a bit worrisome if you look back. He only has a win rate of 33%, I think, in the Champions League throughout his career. Do you think why do you think that he's actually struggling in the Champions League? Knowing that his record, he has a very good record in the Premier League as well, in the Serie A. But when it comes to Champions League, Conte doesn't have a good record. It's pretty bad, his record in Champions League.
I don't know whether it's how he set up the team or how, because different leagues have different strengths, and the way they play is very different. So I think Conte is more of a, how he plays is always like Italian style of football. Maybe like, three at the back. Every team he goes with is three at the back. Right? So it's like I think people kind of know that what's he going to play, and then how he sets up his team is so like, oh, I know your pattern lah. Your left wing, just the left wing back, right wing back, all bomb forward. How they play is the style of play is the same lah. So I know it's worrying I think it's worrying definitely, but I think these players also are unformed. Like Son also not on form this season. Like you can see, it's like
Son
very
is
different,
way off. It's way
very
off.
off. That's why Son was taken off for Kulusevski for a reason. It's because I don't think he can even make an impact that much. Richarlison is stayed in the pitch, because Richarlison is an impact. He did make an impact, but then he didn't score. But whatever lah. Spurs is Spurs lah. we bottle things last minute. It's a normal coincidence lah.
Do you think
Yeah.
do you think the Champions League is a step too far this season, Noah?
I wouldn't. Okay, I think going to Champions League, like getting our Champions League place was the most important because we could actually attract players. But then I think some players. I think almost all the players played Champions League before, and then like I think I don't think it's like I feel like they haven't been I feel like the recent games alone haven't really been performing well. There's some.
If you were Conte on that night, and you what changes will you make
I wouldn't
to
start
at least
Royale,
get
bro.
a point out of
I wouldn't start
of the game?
Royale.
Emerson Royale.
Yeah, I wouldn't start him. Bro, that guy is a liability in the back. Liability in the when he attacks, man. It's so bad, man. The crosses, I think Kyle Walker Peter is so much better in crossing, man. Like, So
No, but if you look at it, like first and foremost, right, with I'm looking at the lineup, lah. I think with the way Conte is playing, is definitely playing bombing the wings, lah. But with the bench that he has, it's the kind where you're having the two pivot in the middle. So I feel that is it Conte, like what Jeff say lah, Conte's UCL record is very worrying. Like he has like no plan B if plan A doesn't work.
yeah.
And I feel like the transfer window was an opportunity for him to in a way strengthen, but somehow or other I feel that Spurs didn't strengthen enough because
Yes.
like what you say, like Son, is not picking up form. Harry Kane also is not exactly picking up form consistently, and I think substitute and Conte is not even maximizing the substitution. It's just only one sub. Is it worrying for you? In that sense, as a Spurs fan.
In a way, yes. Because honestly, like I would say, like Champions League is something that I think we have been. The Champions League final really, I think, got me to think like always want to win trophies. Like as a Spurs fan, as a football fan, who wouldn't want to win trophies lah? But then I don't know, man. Like I don't know why he made only one sub, and then you don't even sub Doherty, yeah. Like Doherty is so much better in crossing than Emerson Royale. Like this bullshit comes on with the he's like injured or he's like injury prone or because his knee like still recovering or what. That's bullshit. What you started him in the preseason? Why won't you start him? Like I think there's something going on. I feel like why is he choosing Emerson Royal over Spence? Or maybe because Spence is not good enough. I know Spence is not a Conte signing at all, but I just feel like there's something going on behind the scenes between I feel the full backs is just not good enough The right wing back is just not good enough. Not good enough. The double pivot is
not
also
working.
questionable.
Okay, I think for Brian Gill, right? Like, is he a wing back or is he he's a winger?
Winger.
He's a winger. Okay. I think speaking about which, right, like because if you're talking about Emerson defensively, he's not exactly. He's not defensively good, and he's not attackingly good? Like, would it be a good gamble if Brian Gill was given the chance?
No, because he plays left wing.
Oh, he plays everything.
Yeah, so I don't think he will ever play on the right wing. He's always play on the left. Like it's like
Oh.
it's like I got seen play as a right wing, it's just not there lah. I think he's left. He's more of a left winger lah. The way he plays is a left winger at
Oh,
best.
it's interesting. So I guess Bentelet is being bented. Can't Noah can't banter because his team lost. So, but then again, it's a good insight in terms of like we forgot about the Spurs sporting game, and I think with Noah coming on board, last minute, it's good, like we have that insight about the game because apart from Liverpool playing against AX, City played yesterday, and so I think another English team, and since we're talking about the EPL, why not we cover the English teams that are involved lah. Okay, now let's go to the first game, the first UCL game for Graham Potter. The move from Brighton, who has not played, never played in the Champions League, to managing Chelsea. 1-1 draw. Interesting.
I actually saw a tweet where they said Graham Potter and Chelsea have actually parted ways right after the final whistle. Funny.
Oh yeah, on Twitter it was crazy because I think it was trending for a while, like Potter out,
Yeah,
and then the memes and all the say that Voldemort, Voldemort did something that could do something to Chelsea what he couldn't do with Harry Potter. Get Graham Potter out of Chelsea.
but I honestly think it's inevitable. No, I think the tweet is gonna come true. No,
Yeah.
that it's just a matter of time before they lose patience with him and Boli pays him off. And adios, Potter.
Okay. Let's talk about his appointment. Let's talk about his appointment from Brighton to Chelsea. I think all of us collectively agree that Potter was the next best England manager. I think consistently for now. So now when he's managing a big club, right? Do you think it's a step up, a huge step up for him, like compared the time when Moyes left Everton for United? Okay, Jeff, come on, Jeff.
I think I said this in the last show as well, that I think Chelsea will be too big for him to handle because look, I know he's doing good, he's doing wonders with Brighton, but it managing Chelsea will never be the same. It's not going to be the same like how you manage Brighton. The pressure of you winning silverwares, uh, all this pressure is something that he don't go through as a manager when he was with Brighton, because Brighton, no disrespect to their fans, but their expectation are always to uh, avoid relegation, finish in the top. At least the biggest achievement is finish 9 in the Premier League, and they are happy with that. And Graham Potter don't have the pressure of being in the Champions League to finish top 4, to win titles, to do good in the domestic cup as well, the FA Cup, the League Cup, and knowing the fact that he is actually doing so good for Brighton. If I were him, I would have stayed with Brighton because I've already built my reputation there. I've already built my empire there. I can actually express my way of playing football, of my tactical football tacticals there, with the lesser pressure, because moving to Chelsea, there's a lot of changes going on in the club. The club is, if I were to put it in a word, the club is actually in a mess at the moment with all the changes ongoing. I'm not sure if bringing Graham Potter will actually overturn the results, but they have bigger problems more than that. If you look into Chelsea, owners try to get more involved with the club as well, but the way that he talks of having Premier League All Stars and so on, I still think he don't understand the English football, how it works, how the proper football works. It's not soccer, and yeah, I think he's going to find it difficult because again, I said there's still a lot of changes, a lot of new players in, and all those players that brought in during the transfer window is not his players, are players signed by Tuchel, and he have to perform with the players that is not within his control. So for me, it's not a good time. I know if he stay with Brighton, he will move to a bigger club, but not at this moment, man.
Sunil, your thoughts about about Potter, taking the huge step from Brighton to Chelsea,
I think I mentioned this in the previous show. So the problem with Tuchel, the fact that he even at PSG, I brought this up. I said that at PSG he used to be someone, when he was sacked from PSG, right? He was someone who wanted to play his own kind of football. Owners didn't like him; they sacked him. He came to Chelsea. He was very well liked by everyone. He got them the Champions League. He was on the roll. He won. He won the Super Cup and everything. So he was on a roll. So when I found out about the sacking, I was actually quite surprised. And like the way that Boli did it was apparently quite brutal. Called him up and then brought him in and then just told him that you're done. So and then everyone is raving about Graham Potter. Yes, he has done a great job. Even in I think he started off in the Swedish league, was it? Swedish league,
Swedish league, yeah.
Swedish league, and he brought a team up. He won the cup competition, and then he's doing wonders at Brighton. But I just don't think that this is a good appointment for him, because Boli's understanding of the game is still very scattered. I feel like his understanding is based on American sports. Like he wanted to. At first he didn't want to have a director of football. He wanted to do everything himself. He wanted to make the signings himself. So this entire signing, I mean, yes, Potter is a good coach. Make no mistakes about it. He's done the work. But to step up to a place like Chelsea, it just reeks of the. Do you all remember Villas-Boas when Villas-Boas did wonders at Porto? And then when he came over to Chelsea, he was given less than like 10 weeks. And 10 weeks, 12 weeks, I don't know how long he was given, but then he immediately got the boot. I'm just afraid that the same thing will happen to Potter.
Yep. And one more good example that we can actually point out is Roy Hodgson during his tenure with Fulham as well. He bring Fulham all the way to the Europa final. And the next season, Liverpool decided to go for Hodgson. And Hodgson couldn't handle the pressure in Liverpool as well.
Correct.
I think he is shell shocked with the culture of Liverpool, how the football works, how the system works, that he couldn't do anything there. He became so poor. So it's the same thing as Graham as well. Moving from a club like Brighton to Chelsea is gonna give you unnecessary pressure at the moment.
Where the expectations at a club like Brighton is, if you like last season, I think they finished 10th. Was it 10th? Last
Ninth.
season 9. Yeah, last season they were 9. So that is an achievement, and that will make Brighton supporters, Brighton owners happy. So this season they started off well, and they're looking at possibly qualifying for Europe, and that will make their owners happy. So he's got a longer runway to work with this Brighton team. How you don't get that kind of runway at Chelsea? At Chelsea it's all about titles. We cannot be. I mean, of course, they will give him time. They drew the first game, but I'm sure they'll give him time. But how much time? And what will it do to his career if they actually give him the boot?
Okay, Noah. I mean, your club is one of the examples of managers coming from a mid-tier club. They're managing one of the top clubs, and then the board not giving them a chance. What's your thought about it and what Potter? And then you can, I mean, you had Nuno Santos, and then you had Mourinho. What do you think about Potter's ability and that potential? Because I think we all spoke about Potter being, he's good. He's a good, one of the best England manager who's managing a club team. And I think we spoke about him moving eventually to a top club. But now he's at Chelsea. Somehow or other, the football universe have turned against him and saying that, he's too big. It's too big of a position for him right now. What do you make about it?
I feel that I think like what Jeev and Sunil said, it was just suicidal lah. I mean, let's be real. I didn't expect. I think expected Potter to be one of the shortlisted candidates, but I didn't expect Potter to leave the club. I think for me it's because this is midway through the season. It's 10 games. It's 7 games to the season. Firstly, like I wouldn't leave a club that is like I just want I just want to experience. I just want to finish it off well and then finish the season well and then just go to Chelsea. Okay, that will be understandable. That to me is understandable. But then to leave mid-season, with Chelsea, who is just a winning club, like win trophies every damn season. Is winning, they are winning trophies here and there. To and then from Potter, I don't think he has won like any Premier League, like like maybe FA Cup, all this. He didn't win anything.
Not yet,
So
not yet.
so he doesn't have any pedigree to begin with. So to me, it's suicidal lah, because like he comes from a mid-table club, and you go into a big club with the expectation of the media expectation of trophies. Trophies is so important for Chelsea, and then they have been winning in and out. So why? So I think for Potter, right, was more of a very gullible yet very greedy move, because he just wants to show. I mean, for him is to prove himself that I'm one of the best England managers right now. Like I think I'm the only one that can succeed. Like which other England manager or English manager or Scottish manager can succeed in this? No one. What Moyes went to from Everton to Manchester United and just failed. Nuno Santos
And-
came from Wolves to
Wolves.
Spurs with the expectation of trophies and failed. So this comes to a point like what? So I think what like Todd Bowley's, and I read a bit of like Todd Bowley's interview. You're saying that why did Tuchel sack him? Why did not Tuchel sack him? Why did Bowley sack him? Was because they just didn't click well. They didn't have the same idea of football. But then Tuchel's, I think there was this leaked version that he wanted to play 4-4-3, and then he was saying that you have academy players like what?
Oh yeah,
Mohamed Salah and Kevin De
Salah
Bruyne.
and De Bruyne. Yeah.
Huh? Like this guy doesn't know his stuff, man. Like that shows something, man. He doesn't watch. Then you tell me like, maybe he just watch Salah and Kevin De Bruyne is like, this is the players that I watched growing up. So Kevin De Bruyne and Salah is my
Academy
childhood
player.
heroes from the academy. Come on, that is damn bullshit. That's really damn bullshit. Like I feel like Todd Bowley really looks very clueless. Talk about what Premier League All Stars. Huh?
we will be addressing that, man. Later in the show about the All Star. I mean, this shows about how owners or even the management of top clubs being out of touch with how the English game is being played. The fact that I mean, you pump in the money, you think you have a lot of say, but then you are not on touch. You're not not touching the ground with what the fans feel. And I think like what all of you guys said. With Chelsea, when they bought over from Roman,
Roman.
Chelsea fans were saying, oh, it's a new dawn. No, I think there's going to be changes in that sense, but it feels that it's kind of like Roman 2.0, with the owner. But then again, this is worse than Roman, because at least Roman knows, like he doesn't shoot his mouth off with such rubbish, like we're talking about 4-4-3 lah. Then suddenly you're talking about the academy. And I think one of the rumors was that I think they wanted Chelsea, the owner wanted Tuchel to for Ronaldo. CR7.
Oh yeah, correct.
Yeah.
Tuchel didn't want him, right?
Yeah,
He's
Tuchel
playing
didn't want
football
him.
manager lah. We all know that.
Football manager, FIFA, which is terrible lah. I mean, if any Chelsea fans out there, if you are, comment with your opinion in terms of like, are the new owners doing exactly what you guys want? Because I think Tuchel, we know that, even when he was sacked from PSG, I think we all know that he has always been the stubborn manager. It's my way or the highway. But being sacked after possibly giving the club one of the best seasons that they have, winning the Champions League, winning the Super Cup, still fighting for top 4. I mean, it's not really a bad manager as per se. No, but Potter, but appointing Potter is kind of like anticlimax. I feel.
Yeah.
Mm.
No, when a manager like Tuchel left the club, right, you would expect someone big to come in and step in. If you think Tuchel is not good enough for the club, then definitely there will be another manager which is bigger or better than Tuchel. But if you're looking to Potter, I don't see any improvement into that. And if
But
I
you look at it like who's on the market that we are available. I mean, if you
Pochettino.
look, Pochettino. I think
Pochettino,
Pochettino is
yeah.
the
Zidane?
realistically chance.
Zidane?
Yeah,
Zidane as well.
Zidane is there as well.
He's
Yeah.
done.
But would you think Zidane would want to?
So,
No. Zidane
he wants the
chooses.
front shot. He wants the front shot.
Possible?
Yeah.
Possible. After the World Cup lah.
I just hope
Yeah.
I hope Deschamps gets sacked before the final, before the World Cup.
No, but I think if you look at it like with the Chelsea position, right, it's a poison challenge lah. Challenge in my opinion lah. I mean, whoever managed Chelsea will always be at the back. Will always have that big target at the back, and especially with the new owners. Well, I think with Roman, I think before he was forced to sell Chelsea out of his hand, I think he's a bit more stable in that sense. He didn't have that shooting gun. Haven't started. 6 games, 10 games into the season, fire off. And this is the worst part is that 6 games into the season, 6 or 7. Is it 6 or 7 games? It's not even midway. Yeah, it's not even midway to the season. Transfer window is closed. Potter comes in. He cannot. He don't have that play. He has to work with the players that he have right now.
Yeah.
And it's gonna be interesting in that sense because it shows. I think with the last night's UCL game. I mean, I watched the way it's been. Even though the same play, it's like he's like it's out of his depth. It's akin that like you give us to manage the national team. We will definitely be out of that because like now what am I doing? I have to manage stars with egos. When it was prior with Brighton, it's very different. It's like all are the hard workers. There are no prima donnas. There are no divas in that sense. I think that's that bounce lah. But it's interesting. We have any comments that we can pick up? No one is interesting. No one is talking about the Potter game. Chelsea fan all hiding.
Or MIA lah.
All MIA, Chelsea fans. Who's this? Where's Hungry? Where's Hungry? Where's Anwari? Anwari busy lah.
Yeah, but he'll be back next week.
Yeah, he'll be back next week. Okay. Since we already talked about Potter, let's talk about the interesting part. Touch about Chelsea is the controversial. The Americans will always be controversial with their way of we talk about we call the whole world calls it football, they call it soccer.
And then their penalty shootout. Do you remember those days?
Oh, major
The
MLS.
dribble from the
One from the start, right? From the middle,
from
right?
the middle, yeah.
Crazy, sir. I was like, okay lah. I mean, okay, let's talk this as let's take out our glasses, our biasness, as fans, as football fans first and foremost. Okay, what do you think about that idea about having the All-Star, EPL All-Star, okay, let's say these All-Star games start before the champion or before the Community Shield. Because if you follow the American style of having the All-Star before, usually the All-Star is before or after the season.
Midway.
Midway.
Yeah, midway. Yeah.
So
So
they
like
have a long break, right? They have in the season.
they have like for NBA usually they play about 40 games. It's an 82 game season. They play about 40 games, and then after that they will have the All-Star break for 1 week. Then they'll finish the other 40 games lah. But okay, like let me go first, Azam, because the thing is, Boli he's American, right?
Yes, American.
So his first comments on this was, the recent MLS All-Star game generated about 200 million in revenue lah, because of the attendance, the audiences, the sponsorships, and everything generated 200 million. Why can't we have one for the English Premier League? So if you actually look at what they're doing in MLS now for their All-Star game, they have games, they have mini games, whereby like it's like a volley challenge, and then like a free kick challenge and everything. And I saw this year's one, even Chicharito was playing the volley challenge, the free kick challenge, the first touch challenge, all kinds of funny games lah. But it just shows how out of touch he is, because I feel like the Premier League is a different ball game altogether. And for you to even consider this, just imagine, like on top of regular fixtures, we have cup fixtures, we have international fixtures, and then you want them to get together for, I don't know, if it's just purely for revenue, I don't see the point in it lah. I mean, okay, if you're doing it for charity, I'm pretty sure you can do it in the off season. You know, you can do it in the off season and you can do something for charity. Okay, that's a nice thing to do. But he's just thinking from a businessman's point of view. It's a very NBA thing to say. You know,
Yeah.
all-star game, we get the best of the best. Okay, let's duke it out. But is it realistic? I don't think so.
No, because I'm looking at the article. I mean, I was just googling about it. So it was like the two questions that the media pick up was this: like, why wouldn't we do a tournament with the bottom four teams? Why isn't there an all-star game? You know, and I
Okay.
think the traction that came was that the American style of all-star game. You know, like the North versus South. Like, I mean, with like what Sunil was saying, the East versus West thingy. You know, but because it's UK, it's North versus South. And you know, I was like, I mean, even though the traction was there about the All Star game, I was also interested with the fact that why do we need a tournament with the bottom four teams? Like when you know we have that promotion relegation, right? Like why do we need that tournament to have that bottom four team? Like what's there? It's like who's gonna go and watch? If you're talking about revenue, right? If you're talking about money making, right? Would you pay to watch the tournament between the bottom four teams?
No.
No, right?
But what's the point of it? Is it the relegation tournament or is it just a tournament?
Yeah, that's the thing because it was interesting because that question is like so generalized. Like if you're talking about money making, like okay, what's the purpose of that? If you're talking, I mean, I know that for the fact that some of the European leagues have this like the promotion relegation playoff thingy.
Yes.
If I think
promotion, yes. Relegation, there. I don't think there's any league.
I think there was I'm not sure which league. I think I might be wrong lah. I mean I play for FM lah. I noticed I think it's Austrian that they have this promotion relegation like the top two of the below division. Let's say the division 2 will play against the bottom two of the division 1, and then they have this playoff thing like you know like it's kind of like the death match lah. Like you know the bottom two team on the division 1 right could technically still be safe if they manage to prevent the division 2 teams of the top 2 of division 2 play out. But I mean with that Boyle's comment right about like the tournament of the bottom 4, it really like like what money making are we talking about? Yeah, but I mean, but for the All-Star game, it's interesting in that sense. So I mean, for Jif, like okay, like come on, Jif, like what's your opinion? There?
All right, I'm going to touch on the bottom 4 tournament. You call it the tournament. Imagine you are you are one of the player or one of the manager for the bottom 4 team, and you go to the tournament and you win it. Are you seriously gonna go run around the field and celebrate? I am the best among the bottom 4 team. It's stupid. It's freaking ridiculous, right? Why are you gonna have a prize ceremony giving them trophies for finish of being the best team among the bottom 4 team?
And then what happens after that? You go back to a relegation battle.
Yes, you go to the relegation battle. Exactly.
Or unless it goes this way lah. Like I mean, the winner of the tournament, right? You are practically safe from relegation.
Then people will just play for that tournament.
Yeah.
You know, why would I put up my best team every other week? You know.
Okay,
Just
let's
I'll
pick
just
up. Yeah.
play all my youngsters for the rest of the season. Come to the bottom 4 tournament, I'll put my best player in.
This one Heikel pick it up. You know, Potter needs time to get a chance to impress Roman. Not Roman lah.
Not Roman.
Boley. Yeah, Boley. Yeah, of course. I mean, managers need time lah to think. But the fact is that like I think we mentioned before, like a huge step up from mid-table team to what top 4 team is definitely that challenge lah. Okay, so another one is okay from V-Buff. Okay, first time I think never seen this thing. Okay, I get that this is trying to be more Americanized in that sense that you have the East All-Star versus the All-Star in there. But the problem with that is that will slowly lead a transition into an American league. And the comment continue. Whole point of having a top 4 chase is to find the best team and to have competition. Watching top 4 and bottom is going to be very bland. I mean, I agree in that sense lah. You know, I mean, if you're talking about that, like the MLS, they don't have that top 4 versus bottom 4. But I think because the country is weak, they have the Eastern Conference and the Western Conference League. You know, yeah. So to have that East versus North versus South All-Star, it's really gonna be very. I mean, it's revolutionary lah in the football sense. But when you're talking about the rivalry in UK, in England, right, do you think it won't work lah in that sense? Noah, your opinion, Noah. Come on, man.
For this one,
For the All-Star, what do you think, man? I
Wow.
mean, since your owners got the stadium for NFL, right? One game NFL.
Uh, this I think it's just completely bullshit lah. I mean, in the English league, American league and English league so different lah. Come on lah. Like I mean, how many fixtures we have what FA Cup, we have Carabao Cup, you got Champions League, you got like Community Shield. Then you want to come with the East the come up with the what's that the
North and South.
North and
North
South
versus South.
Stars like huh? You're gonna already players are already complaining about them, being used as objects or being used as machines to, because of the congestion of the fixtures. The World Cup is in the middle of the season. This is very like how to say suicidal lah. I feel it's very suicidal. They don't have time for their families. I don't think these players will have any time for their families or not even catching a break. So I think for this type of top four versus bottom four, wow, it's it's like you already know what's the result. Then what's the point of having it?
Crazy. I mean, even if you look at it, plus the international games, the Nations League, and then
Yeah.
now if you're talking about, if let's say if the North versus South All Star games happen this season, and the World Cup, and then now with the postponement of the games, you're gonna be playing like what, like 3-4 games per week. Crazy, like, I mean, you're talking about the European competitions. It's already like what Noah says, you're gonna tax the players, and then you will see clubs,
Injuries?
injuries,
Yeah.
and then I think it's gonna disrupt the playing field in that sense. I think my club will be guilty of it, because now it's like whoever has the money, you can stockpile the players, and then you can assign the score. Okay, like I need these are the players that you're gonna play in this game. These you are gonna play in these games, and then you guys gonna and I think it's gonna open up a huge can of worms lah. I think while the idea is it's revolutionary, in terms of like, I think with football it's always about evolution. When VAR came about, I think we were all not agreeable in the idea, because it takes away that excitement about football, when you have VAR. When you have this, and talking about money, charity, and what, I think it's just American trying to change how they feel the game should be.
Yeah.
And I think we mentioned earlier at the start, like when they had the penalty shootout, because they do not want a draw game. It's ridiculous, and even that also they didn't keep it. They didn't even manage to sustain it, because why? It doesn't work.
Yeah.
Because you can change the game as much as possible, but at the end of the day, I think football is supposed to be simple, because it's already bad enough with the VAR and whatnot. But then, if you're talking about now, having this North versus South lah, then what's gonna happen next? Are we gonna have the MLS style of, okay, there is either you're gonna win or you're gonna lose, and if it's a tight game, it's gonna be a penalty shootout.
That's the thing. You see, you look at the standard in the Premier League and you look at the standard in the MLS. Why do you think the MLS is not as lucrative as the EPL? The EPL has got a very good system and it works. Every week you tune in and you still see upsets. You still see, I mean, not only the EPL, many of the major leagues. Okay, some leagues are being controlled by a few teams, but at the end of the day, it's still a system that works. Why would you want to disrupt something that doesn't work? Like you mentioned, Zam, the inclusion of VAR. I think all in all, it's like 7 years, 8 years since 6 years, 7 years since VAR has been around. And we are still trying to get things right. Or if you come in with this new theory that this all-star game is going to be good for the players, it's going to take a long time before people actually even consider it. Remember last year they had this whole breakaway league of
the European Super League.
The Super League that was immediately shut down by fans and everything. So people are not going to be as receptive, because it's just an idea that is out of the left field.
Okay,
To conclude it, I think it's a money making move lah.
Yeah.
If you were to introduce that. It's all about the money.
I think Viva brought a good North versus South move. I think it's gonna lead to a lot of brawls. I mean, let's put it this way, lah. With the rivalry that okay lah. I mean, nowadays people were talking about like the rivalry is not as intense as previously. You know, like I think if the English, you know, like I remembered John Stone and Harry Maguire were like hugging it out lah, like all this because the English players, you know, like
Yeah.
they don't have that same passion about like that club rivalry, that tribalism, like I call it.
Uh,
But this brings a good point. Like, would you imagine like Liverpool fans gonna support a United player?
exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
When you're Liverpool
know-
fan cheering for who, Bruno?
Or even or even like a Spurs fan gonna support a Arsenal player, vice versa, or even I mean, if let's say like Sunil, when Sunderland comes back,
No lah, they won't come back. But
you see that the Habibi, the Habibi money, like you won't come back. I just love the fact that Sunil is just like we are the top, the Tyneside,
Uh,
For me, I can only accept rival players playing together when they represent their national team. Outside of that, there's no way seeing them together. And no, I'm gonna cheer for a Man United player just because they are part of the South team. So no way, no way of me seeing it happening.
I think the idea stems also. It's not only because of the fact that it's an American idea lah. I think maybe from the business perspective, I see that maybe he has that plan that whenever English team comes to Asia, you have fans who doesn't have that same loyalty, like like okay, even though I'm a United supporter, I will go watch Liverpool play against maybe the league's all-star, like remember that time when United was playing the SD all-star, that kind. I think that idea stems from that, the fact that okay, there are fans who non-English fans who would be able to put aside that tribalism, and just support. But I think it just shows a lot that he, as an owner, when he bought Chelsea, he's way out of touch with how the league is played. He's way out of touch with how the tribalism in England is very different compared to, I mean, even for Europe. Because if you look at football in Europe, the leagues, and compared to in US, it's a whole lot of difference. They had before the Major League Soccer, they had the North American League, with Pele and whatnot. It didn't work because at the end of the day, the main sport is still not football. Whereas in Europe, football has always been
Number one.
the number one. And even if you look at Asia in that sense also, football has always been number one.
Yeah.
So I think we have that said, we conclude that well, the idea is very out of the box. I think as fans, we all can collectively agree is that the Chelsea owner is really, really, really out of touch.
Yep.
And unfortunately for Chelsea fans, that's your owner. That is your owner. I mean, United fans can say Glazers out. I think with Liverpool fans can say, FSG is not supporting supporting Klopp. Me and Sunil, we have no problems. Habibi lah, the rivals always say it's always about the sports washing money. Sports washing money.
Yeah.
Well, Noah will always have that, the dictator, Daniel Levy. But Chelsea fans, if you guys are watching this, we would love to hear from you. Your opinions in them, like the Chelsea. Would you guys prefer the Roman ownership or the new American owners?
With their revolutionary ideas.
A revolutionary idea.
Yeah.
Love it, man. It's so interesting. Okay, let's cover what's the next option. Oh no, it's not this. What's that? It's this. 7 games. No, we're gonna talk about the fixture pile-up nightmares.
Oh, it's crazy.
This because this is not by choice. It's because, as we all know, the Queen of England, Queen Elizabeth, who have survived for so long, have seen teams come and go, have seen different prime ministers, and recently before her death, just got, just appointed a new prime minister to UK, died. So country is mourning, Operation London Bridge steps in, the country shuts down, and English football is affected. So we have, let me just show how many games we have got postponed. I open up the browser. Let me just show you.
I think 22 games.
You imagine these are the number of games that were postponed. Look at that.
Crazy.
How many games? How many games are postponed? This is just for the last week. Was it last week and what?
Last week, yeah,
Last
Last
week.
week.
last week, and also some teams this weekend as well.
Yeah, this weekend, right? You see how
Yeah.
many games are there? Arsenal is gonna miss 2 games. Liverpool is missing 2 games.
2 games,
City 2 games. I think most of the teams are gonna miss 2 games.
2 games,
Except
yeah.
for I think the mid teams lah. Like
Yeah.
Bournemouth, Crystal Palace. Crystal Palace is missing. Spurs, Tottenham was Nottingham Forest, Villa. Okay, so these weekends these are the games, the 7 games, which we'll touch later. Okay.
Arsenal misses Man City, yeah?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Arsenal, the top of the table, the early season top of the table clash is postponed. Why? Because it's in London. And I think Arsenal is missing postponed 2 home games against Everton and also City. As what you can see from here lah.
Anu be happy lah. Still top of the league.
Top of the league. Can be screaming at top of the league until this weekend lah. But then again, Arsenal is playing against Brentford. Ant's favorite team. Second favorite team, Brentford. Okay. Let's touch about the impact of like what we mentioned, the postponement, fixture pile-up nightmare, World Cup coming up. Okay, Jif, your team, bring me the momentum. What do you think about this postponement and the impact for Liverpool's title challenge this season?
I think there's a comment going on about killing off the rhythm of us. No, this during this period of us not playing any games until 1st October. There's like 2 weeks. We are not playing any football. We're gonna kill off a rhythm. And for me, being a Liverpool supporter, I think I can look at the positive side. We need to kill off the rhythm that we had ever since the start of the season. We have been very poor. So it gives us additional time for us to look back at the team, to reevaluate our gameplay, our game styles. We have more time to train as well, and the player will get the rest because, like I said, last season Liverpool's fixtures itself is super crazy. We played all possible games, 64 games in total in the span of 1 year, and having this additional, I would say, 2 weeks break will actually serve the players lah. But looking back at the fixtures, we do not know when these games are going to be played. And knowing the World Cup will be taking place in November until December this season, in between the season, it's going to be one hectic season for all the players. Not only Liverpool, but all the club as well. Because if you look at the big clubs like Man United, Man City, Liverpool, Chelsea, Arsenal, we have a lot of players representing their nation, their national team for World Cup. And they coming back fit. There are very high chances of them coming back unfit as well. We would not know what will happen to them during the World Cup. And then these teams are actually competing in the European football as well. Champions League, Europa League, Conference League. And on top of that, they have domestic cup, FA Cup, League Cup that's going to play on weekdays as well. On top of that, now they have to play additional 2 games, which will definitely be on weekdays, one of the weekdays, to fill in between the weekdays and weekend games. That's crazy, man. If you look at the pictures,
Maybe it'll be okay for Haaland lah. He's not going for a World Cup, right?
for Haaland, yes.
He'll go to a beach. He will relax. He'll come back. He'll score another 40 goals.
40 goals.
And Zam will just be smiling, and then it's okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
nothing happened.
Nothing about it's just like all systems go. Like
Go.
finally. Okay. Noah, your team, Spurs. Spurs only gonna postpone 1 game against City against my team.
Yeah.
But okay. I think when it comes to the impact of this postponement, do you think it's gonna disrupt Conte's plan in that sense, like moving forward? And taking into account, taking into account the World Cup as well, lah. I mean, numbers of players gonna miss. What's gonna happen in that sense?
I think definitely it will disrupt a bit of like their momentum. I think because going to the game right Like I think before the Man City game, we were winning. We were undefeated. But now, when we lost to Sporting, I hope it's a wake up call for them lah. These players, because I think these players needed that loss to really buck them, like really buck up lah, because we have been piss poor. We're not really piss poor, but we have been quite poor in our final third for a while already. I think after the Southampton game, we were really that bad. There wasn't any like we were always missing chances here and there. There was a bit like the final third, the final pass wasn't there. So I hope this will be a turning point. But then I think with the World Cup coming also, it's also going to disrupt a bit lah, because I think most of our players going to be in the World Cup. I think Romero's going to be definitely in the World Cup. I mean, Romero's going to be starting lah. Romero, you got Emerson Royal probably might be selected, but I don't think he's selected for this Brazil one, so it's okay, not so bad. But there are a few players inside our team that Harry Kane. That will be very scary if Harry Kane gets injured in the World Cup, and this will change a lot of plans. The whole Conte is always reliant on Harry Kane and Son. So yeah, Harry Kane and Son team lah. So if the two players injured, we are screwed. And even Kulusevski, I think did they qualify for World Cup? Sweden,
Sweden
no, right?
Sweden didn't make it. Yeah.
Sweden didn't make it so.
Yeah.
Oh, so then it should be okay lah. With Kulusevski still like fit, should be playing fit lah. Should be fit by then. Yeah, Richarlison was still going to play World Cup somehow. Number 9 position is definitely for him. I mean, Jesus wasn't selected lah. So I think that speaks a lot lah. Like it's probably going to destroy a lot of plans if players like Richarlison, you have a bit of players like Højbjerg, Romero, Harry Kane, and Son gets injured. That's it. I think we are just screwed. It will destroy. And I tell you, we won't. I think going through. I think having the World Cup in the middle of the season is rubbish. It will destroy a lot of plans lah. Destroy a lot of plans. You see, I think after the World Cup, then we can see which team suffers the least burnout, which I probably think is Man City lah.
Obviously, we all know it's Man City.
But then again, you look at it like if you look at Man City, right? Edison is gonna go to the World Cup, that's for sure. John Stone, Ruben Diaz.
Actually,
If you look
everyone
at
is
everyone is affected
international.
lah. Yeah, everyone's an international. So I think it levels the playing field one way or another lah. But like what you say, like what Noah say, coming back from the World Cup and it's like mid-season, World Cup, and that kind of weather in Qatar, I think it's gonna be hectic lah. It's gonna be hell for the players, because imagine those European players, right? Mid-season, playing in a humid country, injury prone definitely is higher lah. So I think that's the tricky part. Like the playing field will definitely be changed a lot after the World Cup. When you come back, the players, whether they're going to be super unfit, and then that's where you see how players will react lah. Whether they can keep building the momentum or they just gonna. I remember we were talking about when players came back from the Euros. Most of the players were out of form because they were either unfit or they were not season ready in that sense, because they're already so tired, playing in the Euros.
They were given an extra few weeks. Some players were given extra weeks of rest and everything, right? So they didn't start the season.
Yeah, I think there were momentum. Like I think we were talking about the English player, like Calvin Phillips didn't pick up form. Declan Rice didn't pick up form. No. I think a lot of the English players, the media was talking about the English players not picking up that momentum because of such a successful Euro run in that sense. No, so I think with the World Cup, definitely we'll see when these players come back, the players that are playing in the World Cup, we will see that impact for sure. And I think that playing field in a way will be level one way or another. Even if you talk about Man City, like apart from Haaland, it's not going to the World Cup. Most of the players, the 11 are going to be playing the World Cup. Yeah. So everyone one way or another is going to be affected. So which team is going to capitalize on that? And I think the clubs, the mid-tier teams who don't have players for the World Cup is gonna be able to build that momentum if they know how to lah.
Correct. Because if you look at the timing of the World Cup as well, it will be ending on 18 December, if I'm not mistaken. And 1 week after that is already Christmas, where it's the Boxing Day fixtures again. And looking back at the fixtures, Liverpool will be playing 3 games in 7 days.
For
Right,
3 games,
1 week
wow,
after the
crazy,
football.
man.
Right
1
after the
week
World Cup,
after
18th,
yeah.
26th, 31st, and 2nd of January, Liverpool will be playing 3 games.
Wow,
3 matches.
it's only like what? It's only like what, 1 or 2 days rest in between games.
Yes, correct.
It's crazy, man. Terrible. Sunil, your Newcastle team postponing only one away West Ham game. Who you guys are for Newcastle? Who is gonna go to the World Cup? I mean, Jolinton definitely will go because of his brilliant transformation.
I think we have Nick Pope. Pope sounds like he might get the nod. Pope for England, and Holland made it, right? Holland made it.
Holland, yeah.
I think Botman might make the team. And then there is Gumaresh lah. Trippier, Gumaresh,
Scar. Fabian Scar.
Scar for Switzerland, yeah. Scar for Switzerland. I don't think they call out Wilson lah. He's too injury prone.
Yeah.
But yeah, we still have a few players out lah. But to be honest, like I think it really, like what Jeff said lah. You think about the fact that you start the season. I mean, you resume the season 1 week after the final. That is absurd, no? Because you think about the mileage on these players,
Yeah.
they must be super fit lah. I mean, super fit doesn't even cut it close lah. But you think about how many games they'll be playing, and the weather, the humidity, the travel, the jet lag. I think it's all just gonna pile up. But especially for teams like your teams like City, Spurs, Liverpool. If you have European football, and I'm pretty sure by then you will still be in the competitions. You still be like maybe 16, final 16. Is it final 16 by then?
By then, I think
It should be yeah.
Second round.
should be second round.
Second round.
Second round or final 16 lah. But you're still quite deep, and you have to travel for away fixtures. It's just gonna be crazy lah. It's just the way you build up all these fixtures. So this postponement, I don't know. For Newcastle, maybe it was a blessing in disguise because it gave us a chance to get back some players. We missed one away game against a resurgent West Ham team. So hopefully we can capitalize on this lah. But yeah, for your teams, I don't know how you're gonna do it, man.
I think for Liverpool, the big games that you got postponed is against Chelsea.
Chelsea, yeah.
Chelsea. I think, and other that is Wolves home. I think for City, we're gonna miss against Spurs and Arsenal. I mean, top 6 game being postponed is definitely a huge impact because I think we also forget the fact that apart from the World Cup, the European competition and also the cup games, that's where I think the managers will have to like do what I call a club. Like, do we send in our best 11 for the cup games? I mean, if the domestic cup, like, okay, can we forgo the Carabao Cup? Can we forgo the FA Cup in a sense? I think that's the challenge for managers, especially the top 6 managers lah. But what I feel is that with the postponement, it brings out a different ball game altogether in sense that now managers have in a way it becomes a strategy kind of game, strategy season. Like which run should we focus on? Which run should we prioritize? Should we focus on the domestic cup? Should we go for the treble? Are we if you're talking about are we going for the treble? Do we have the squad depth in that sense? Our players are able to do that. It's really gonna be very interesting because if you look like what I mentioned, the top 6 clubs will be having that problem. But the mid-tier clubs are the ones that is gonna be interesting. Like, suddenly you can see West Ham, West Ham has a European competition, right?
Europa
Conference.
Europa Conference.
Europa Conference.
So the clubs that are not involved in the European games would be the ones that be able to capitalize in that. Like, okay, let's do a good cup run. I think that's the best part lah. But I think we all collectively agreed lah that the postponement will affect the teams, not even the top 6 teams. I think the league in general, because coming back from the World Cup,
Yeah.
the postponement, and then coming back, especially after that 1 week, then is the crucial Christmas period. Like we always talk about whoever leads the table in Christmas, right, will
Yeah.
be the champions.
Champions. Yeah.
Ah. So that's the interesting part. Joel. Oh, finally. What's World Cup? AFF is the best tournament. Joe, are you coming? Are you coming from a place where because we are gonna meet our Causeway neighbors, Malaysia?
That's the
Hey,
only
but that
game
would
that
be
everyone looking forward to. Lah.
They
but
changed.
that would be interesting, huh?
Wait, they changed the name again. I thought it was Tiger
Ah.
Cup, Suzuki Cup. Now it's
Now
Mitsubishi
the
Electric.
Mitsubishi
Now
Electric.
it's Mitsubishi Electric Cup. New
We are
sponsor.
gonna be new sponsor AFF. Mitsubishi Electric Cup. Oh my god. It becomes it becomes like a very amateur tournament. Like
Exactly, it's my icon.
Yeah.
Mitsubishi.
It's my icon, G.
But for fan like Joel, a United fan, he will come out and say that no team have won any AFF Cup before. Lah. Because
Oh yeah, correct. The banter. Hey, but it's interesting. I think for that, we will definitely, I think we'll talk about it because it's interesting, especially when it comes to derbies and rivalry, lah. Especially when it comes from a Asian perspective, right? Like Singapore and Malaysia will always have that historical. Whenever we meet, right, there's always this drama.
yeah.
So okay, but that's gonna be for another show. That's for sure, lah. We're not gonna talk about it now, lah. Time comes that we'll talk about it. Then our rivalry will come into a different place, lah. Then we'll
I'll
be
be outnumbered lah then.
no, lah, but it's gonna be interesting because you see the thing is that when it comes to talk about football that is close to our heart, especially when it comes to the historical rivalry, that's another ball game altogether. Like people always make fun of Asian fans. Like, what do you know about the English rivalry? Like if people will talk to Sunil, what do you know about the wine side, Tyneside, wine side? Like people come to me, what do you know about the Manchester derby? You're not from there. Or even for Jif, even for
Yeah.
Noah, like what do you know? No, but when it comes to local pride, like, it's a different ball game altogether.
Yeah.
We can talk, and I think with Anwari that it's gonna be more than 2 hours.
Definitely.
Shout out to Anwari, 2 hours. I'm gonna make this show 90 minutes. That's it.
But it never happens.
Yeah, but it never happens. Interesting. Okay, now the final one. Let's go. Let's preview the 7 matches.
So
Hey, Machan is back.
The biggest move.
The biggest wolf. The biggest
I would say this is the
shit-stirrer.
best player introduction video out.
Oh,
for this
yeah.
for this
I
summer
saw.
transfer window.
Yeah, solid.
He said he was terrified to death, handling those wolves.
Seriously,
Yeah.
he said that.
Yes.
He said that.
He said that. He said
For
he
someone
was
who
super
is
terrified.
for someone who is known to be crazy, like him, afraid of wolves, like cannot believe, like it's very hard to believe, like serious, Come on,
Yeah,
Diogo
he
Costa.
said that.
Hey, but it's going to be very interesting to see Diogo Costa back in the English league.
Yep.
Like, I think that he didn't have he
Good
didn't
send-off,
complete his he didn't have a proper send off when he was playing with Chelsea, But I think that kind of swagger for a player, you know that he won't exactly light the league on fire, but he will bring that robustness
drama lah,
and
we would
the
say.
drama.
Yeah.
I remember, whenever he played for Chelsea, it's always drama in there. It's kind of like the one, like we need to have that Balotelli.
Yeah.
We need to have that kind of play. We need to have that kind of crazy ass.
Especially going up against big clubs, right? Tanda
Yeah.
keluar sia.
and then this is the interesting part. I think Joe brought it the best part. Like this is what Joe brought. Okay, Costa's intro was mad dope. But question: can he cut it back in the Premier League now? Okay, come on, cross the board, Jif, bring me, shoot, man, about him before we cut.
When he completed his signing, I think I read an article. I think most media out there actually wrote he was signed as a backup striker. Actually, it's not as a main striker. I think their summer signing, the striker, what the guy name?
Wait, let me just have a
Is
look.
one. Yeah, their striker is off to
The ACL tear guy
injury.
lah.
Oh yeah, he said
Yeah.
that was very unfortunate, signing for a club and then just
Yeah,
First game, right? Was it
first game. Yeah, first game.
Correct.
He made his debut and then he had an ACL. So Costa stepped in as a backup striker. will Wolf actually utilize him? At this point, I think with Raul Jimenez the only option. I think he will get quite a number of minutes first team game as well.
Hmm.
Will he be able to make the cut back in the Premier League? I think he still have like how you said earlier on. He have unfinished business in the Premier League. He still has something to prove to the fans, to the people, to the English supporters. That he can still do something, and I still think that he will be able to get some few goals under his belt and show up, especially in big games. I think he's looking forward to those big games, going up back against Chelsea, playing with clubs like Liverpool. He hates Liverpool so much. Going up against Man United, he has a very bad history with Man United as well. So all these games will definitely spark him up to bring him to another level, to try to prove to the fan, look, I'm back and I still have the fire in me.
Okay. Well, okay. Sunil, do you think that is an anticlimax? Because I remember when Falcao came, Chelsea on loan, and then he went to United. Was it Chelsea first, then he went to United, or was it United then he go to Chelsea?
United and Chelsea.
United and Chelsea. Will it be an anticlimax in that sense? Like coming back? I mean, I wouldn't say coming back, because we know that as a striker, Diogo Costa, Falcao was one of the top tier strikers on their good day, But him coming back with unfinished business in that sense, do you think that he will carry it with Wolves?
I think
Even though he's a backup striker.
if you think about it, like what Jeff said, he is a backup, but looking at Wolves' options now, Jimenez is an injury away from Diego Costa being your first choice striker that you're gonna expect him to pile in 90 minutes. I mean, eventually you will get your subs in lah, but yeah, he's gonna start every game if an injury to Jimenez happens lah. But I don't see it happening lah, because he's okay. The way he plays, he gets under the defender's skin. He knows what to do. So he will know what to do to irk them, to make them make those kind of mistakes and everything. But he was a free agent for too long lah. I feel like the reason why a lot of clubs passed on him is because they feel like he's probably past it. He will get goals. He still will get goals because that's the kind of player he is. He knows where to get into positions. He knows where to make the runs. But I know if I wouldn't be too worried lah, because he was on the free agency list for so long.
I think for
His last
9
team
months,
was
9 months.
was he with what, Mineiro?
Yeah, I mean, because on January he terminated his contract, but he
Yeah.
managed to score like 5 goals out of 19 games he played lah. So
Okay lah.
I mean, as a striker, I think he still have that striker instinct.
Correct.
But momentum wise and also fitness wise, I don't know whether is he, like what Joe say lah, whether he's able to cut it, in the Premier League. Even though he had I would say a good season with Chelsea when he was playing with Chelsea, But I think with the fact that he really played with his heart on his sleeve lah, he doesn't give a shit lah. To be honest with you, he
And
really
he's-
gave it to the rivals.
He's much older, right, Zam? He's about
Yeah,
5 years past since his
now
Chelsea times.
30, he's already 33, but he's 33 years old. No, that's the thing.
He's 33
Like,
decent.
yeah.
33 years.
So he's like his last season he's like what he was playing in Chelsea for 2014 to 2017.
Okay.
So like in a way that if you look at his appearance to goals, right, it's like he can cut it in the league. But I think the reason the way he left Chelsea was, I would say, very. It's not like very abrupt lah. Very like there's no proper closure. Like okay, I've done my time. It's like what he left on I wouldn't say on a sour note, because I think he really wanted to play for Chelsea, continue playing for Chelsea. But I think the club was like, oh, you know what, he's a liability because he doesn't have that patience to actually not be crazy lah in that sense. Like it's like kind of like a Balotelli lah.
Back heel in front of goal.
Back heel in front of goal, that kind. But he is really a striker where, I mean, with Chelsea, because he was playing with with fellow stars with ego, but with Wolves, we would say that Wolves is that mid-tier team that who need this kind of play with passion. You know, that I mean, Wolves doesn't have like an outlandish diva star. You know, but with Wolves, he's gonna be the kind of that character that could be the spark for Wolves. You know, like what you mentioned. You know, like Jimenez is a good striker. No, like definitely he's a first choice, but he's because after his that serious injury, right? Like I think
Injury,
his injury is like he's not really that same Raul Jimenez that we know. Yeah. So if he gets the injury, like and with Costa's that arrogance and confidence, like he might be that spark that Wolves needed. Think so. Okay, Noah, your opinion, Noah.
On
What do you
Diego
think? Can he?
Costa.
Yeah.
To me, I think Diego Costa. I mean, yes, he has been a free agent for quite a while. I wasn't surprised. I was quite surprised that Wolves go for him because I mean, he's 33, and I think I actually forgotten about the part where the one of their main strikers got injured for the ACL tear. I mean, he has a very long injury record. Was like, man, but Diego Costa to Wolves, I think he's really got to spot the Premier League again, man. I'm the guy is a madman when he plays against Spurs, man. Oh my gosh. Then I wouldn't want to remember Stanford how bad he played against how horrendous, not horrendous, but how Diego Costa fighting with Musa Dembele and all. Wow, that was those days, man. Like, can't forget it. I mean, the Battle of the Bridge was crazy. The last Eden Hazard goal that really killed our Premier League title hopes at the point of time. Having him back is really going to be a very amazing ride, man. I'm looking forward to seeing him in the league again. But I mean, can he cut it back to the PL is one thing lah. I think I really don't know. I mean, having him back is a very good thing, but how many goals he's gonna get? How is he gonna help the team? It's just another level lah.
And he's only 5.5 million on FPL.
5.5, 5.5.
Exactly.
for real.
That's actually a good. I mean, if he picks up the momentum, right? I mean, he could be a steal for people who are looking for a steal striker.
Yeah.
But for him to cut it, I think it's gonna be interesting because because Wolves is gonna is gonna meet City this weekend.
Oh,
So
okay.
so it's gonna be interesting if he's and Wolves playing at home. So if you look at it, it's like if he starts or if he's introduced, it's a baptism of fire and playing at home. It's like what more can you ask from a debuting player? And with kind of that stature that he has. He's not a Cristiano Ronaldo as per se, but he is. He knows that he can really pack a punch. He will go in with his heart on his sleeve. He will play his heart out. That's the challenge, and especially playing at home. And I think with the fans, how to endear your fans, how to endear yourself to the home fans. Imagine he starts or even he comes in as a substitute, scoring the winning goals against Wolves. It can happen. I mean, we shall not discount that. I mean, as a City fan, I always feel that when you start off, playing at home, or even when you come in as a debut, and when you have unfinished business, that means you have got something to prove, right? Miracles can happen, man.
Okay, guys, you heard it first. Zam
What's happened?
Zam is removing Haaland for Diego Costa this week. All right.
Are we gonna change our profile picture also?
Yeah.
I think that's gonna be interesting. Okay, that will be the inside joke about the profile picture being changed.
Take it off. offline.
That will be taken offline. Okay. Now since we are on the last lap, okay, let's go for the proper game review. Okay, let me just open up the page, the fixtures, so that I don't need to open up because we already fixed this one. Okay, Aston Villa and Spurs. Southampton. The Saturday game 3 a.m. Okay, Sunil, come on, your prediction and
Villa's last game was City, right?
yeah.
Did that turn the corner for Villa? I don't think so.
Tips must be disappointing. Please change. I'm done with my photo.
Yeah, okay. But I think okay, if you go for predictions, I would say I don't see Villa losing. I say 1-1 draw. 1-1
1-1
draw.
draw.
1-1 draw. Probably 1-1 draw.
Villa Southampton. The Villa fan has
Alamak,
spoken.
Steven.
No.
Villa, Steven.
Villa.
I think also because the fact that Steven Gerrard has given himself a breathing space in that sense. You know, in about
That point against City is equivalent to maybe 5 more games added to his life.
Yeah.
His life kali.
It's like Super Mario, you get the green mushroom. He got 5 up.
But really, but this is interesting. I think we were talking about it. No, we were talking about it like how Liverpool fans will always say, "Oh, give Gerrard charge." You know, it's always interesting, because when you have former players, right, and former legends managing rival, I wouldn't say rival clubs lah. I mean clubs other than the clubs that they play for. Is that affinity that because he's a good player, he was a legend, that he must be a good manager.
And remember, Zam, when he came into Villa, Jif, do you remember everyone was saying that Villa is just a stepping stone. He is getting ready for Liverpool. So would you take him, Jif?
No, definitely, Looking at his win record, he had a similar win record in the league as Conte's in the Champions League. So there's
Pass.
no way. No way gonna look into him at the moment.
Okay, Jif, this is just a multiverse question. Let's say if Klopp gets sacked, let's say like would you say like, okay, let's give Gerrard a chance. Let's say if Gerrard was available. Let's say if in an alternative universe, Klopp gets sacked, Gerrard gets sacked. Then the consensus is like, you know what? Hey, let's do an Arsenal. Give a
No
former
lah.
player.
No way, I go one better, Jif. Okay, I go one better. Same thing, multiverse. Doctor Strange did his mambo jumbo. Klopp gets sacked, but Villa goes on a stunning 10-game winning run.
Habibi, you really one up me, sir. This one I never.
So suddenly now Gerrard's in demand. So will you cash him out? Money in the bank. Throw the contract at him.
Saying like,
No.
come on lah, legend.
No, even with the 10-win run, I wouldn't take Gerrard at the moment because, in fact, I had a discussion with my group of friends. Well, if Klopp were to ever get the sack, right, the next guy should take over Liverpool will be Pep Linders. I wouldn't go far. I wouldn't look out of the club. I'll go for the current assistant manager, Pep Linders. I think he knows how the club was to be run. Even if, like how Sunil said, Gerrard is on a good run, on fire, 10 games, back-to-back win, I wouldn't cash in on Gerrard because, to have this current, culture in the back room is very important to maintain it. I think we're in a very healthy position in the dressing room as well. So, yeah, Pep Linders would be my choice and it will not be Gerrard, even if he's available at the time.
10-game winning run tau, Jif.
Foxton had a good run in Fulham as well.
So Tips is showing some love lah. He's not cat with 9 lives. Then say, love you, Sunil. This is the best. Gerrard can still go and we take Poch. Wow.
You can take Poch, but will Poch manage Aston Villa? No?
Wow.
Manage Chelsea if Potter gets sacked, man.
That is the best merry-go-round. Like imagine Potter gets sacked, then Poch goes Chelsea.
Then Potter comes to Villa, man.
Potter comes to Villa.
The fact that we are already talking about Potter's sack 1 game into the season for him we already know it's a bad appointment. Yeah.
No, but it's interesting It's very interesting, Like we are not giving him that chance. I think we are kind of like the United fans when Moyes was like a United manager. He's not. Even though Moyes was a Ferguson recommendation, Potter is not even one week into the club, right? It's already like, oh, you know what? Water out. Like 2 games, like how like the expectations is too high. Like what? But it's really very interesting, lah. I mean, if you're talking from a city perspective, right? The day Pep goes, right? I think it's gonna be the same thing. Like I think you guys throw back the question to me, right? I think I'll be like Jeff, like if let's say Burnley does well, right? Get company. That was like
Oh
you know,
yeah, true.
yeah,
Company,
I'm waiting for
Revolutionary.
I'm waiting for that day because you see, the thing is that with company Burnley is doing well. You know,
Okay.
the
yeah.
eventuality when Pep goes, right? Like I think the name that was in the mix is that Arteta, Vieira, and company. I mean, if you're talking about it like this, okay lah. I mean, from a Legends perspective, right? I think I'm gonna be Jeff if they say, okay, company gets appointed as a City manager. Then was like it's gonna be a different ball game. Like if City goes on a bad run, like how shit, like
But again, Burnley is playing in the Championship, and Gerrard did well in the Scottish League as well. He did superbly well in the Scottish League. He did well in the Europa League as well with Rangers, but
Yes.
it turns out that the Premier League is too big for him to handle.
yeah.
You hang on to the hopes of the company's Thunderbolt lah.
Company to City, then afterwards maybe a bit of Pep to Burnley. I would have to say.
Oh, Pep to Burnley.
Yeah.
Then we'll solve that problem. Like, Pep will like, can Pep do it with a smaller budget?
Burnley.
Yeah.
All right. So Sunil predicted 1-1. Aston Villa, Southampton. Okay. Next game that we have, the second game out of the 7 games. Okay, Forest versus Fulham. Should we talk about this? Nothing interesting, Fulham is what? Fulham is number 10.
Mitro will
Oh,
score.
Typical, Mitro will score.
score.
Lingard will. I mean, if Lingard scores at home, then Lingard will do the J-Link dance.
More like
The J-Link.
dancing in the Emirates. I will remember that, man. The
Oh my
Emirates.
God.
Right.
Yeah. Oh god. Okay, no disrespect to Forest fan or Fulham fan, you know, but I think this is gonna be maybe a Fulham win, 1-0, you know. Mitrovic scoring last minute.
Inevitable, man.
Triple captain Mitrovic, I think.
Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna give this to Jeep. Wolves versus City. Come on, brother.
How many goals will Haaland score?
How many goals will Haaland score?
I'll give the score, and then I'll guess the number of goals Haaland gonna
Okay.
score. I'm gonna go with a City is gonna win 4-0, and Haaland gonna get another hat trick in this game.
Serious Jeep, I still go with
Wow. if this prediction goes through, wow, really cheap. Oracle really.
Oracle.
Okay, I mean, I think this is like on paper already. I think a lot of people say it's gonna be a City win. We need to
Looking at
dissect
Wolves, unless Costa came in and do a magic.
Yeah, that's right. For me, if you were to ask me, like, if Costa comes in, they do a magic. That's it.
Then be 4-1.
4-1, yeah. 1 goal. You will celebrate with the Wolves, the 3 Wolves.
Yeah. No, I think with Haaland, right, the next thing we have to ask is, okay, City is gonna win. That's mostly a given. Haaland is gonna score a hat-trick. That's a given. In how many minutes will Haaland score a hat-trick?
Is it first half?
Then the next question will be, how many touches will he need?
Wow.
3 touches, hat-trick in 3
3
minutes.
touches, 3 goals.
In
3
3
touches,
minutes.
what? 3 minutes. Maybe like 5 minutes, he's gonna score 1, tap in, another one, header, another one,
The Kung Fu
Zlatan,
kick,
Kung Fu kick.
Then it will be disallowed because of VAR. They still cannot get it right.
Oh my god. Okay. Now, Noah. Newcastle versus Bournemouth.
Wow. This is definitely a Newcastle win anytime, man. 3-0, man.
Who? Giving love to
Wow.
the Habibi.
Just because Sunil is on top of you, right?
Okay, that's Lampard. Wait, 5 tips. Wow, tips really. I gave you the 5-0
On fire,
City,
Dips.
3-0 Newcastle. How about Lampard ex-City player? City player lah. Anyone can be. Put Paul Dikov down there also.
Maybe they should put Carlos Tevez, the manager.
There, got a lot of options. We got a lot of options.
Robinho.
Also.
Robinho.
Assistant.
Ilano also we
manager.
have.
Sanji Hai lah. I think
Better,
Sanji Hai.
better Schmeichel lah.
Huh?
Peter Schiff.
Better Schmeichel.
Michael, everyone. Mika Richards also can.
Mika Richards.
No, Mika needs
Why
to
not you take
remain
Haaland's
on-
red as well?
Okay,
Haaland.
you
Okay.
think on crutches.
Spurs versus Leicester. Sunil.
Spurs, Leicester, Spurs home. Spurs
Spurs
home.
home.
Wow.
Spurs home. Leicester bottom of the table. Not any moment.
Huh?
Leicester bottom of the table. 5 losses already. Last
Wow.
5 games.
I say, okay, the only reason I say this is because Spurs had Champions League in the midweek. So I still think Spurs will win. But I think they'll play safe 2-0.
Hmm.
2-0.
2-0.
Then they
2-0,
probably, yeah lah.
And
Wow.
will
Why?
this
You have
be
more
Brendan
confidence than
Rodgers'
me, sia.
final game for Leicester? If
Oh,
they
that's
lost to
interesting, huh?
Spurs?
Oh, interesting, yeah.
Well, if they go in and lose to Spurs, it's going to be 6 games in a row, right? Back-to-back defeat in the league.
Yeah, It's
Wow,
gonna
but
be like what?
Who do you take, Jeff? Who would you take? I mean, if realistically, if the Ties decide to say bye-bye to Rodgers, who's next?
Pochettino.
Honestly,
No one really leaving the Bentelet name, bro. Nickname.
That is why if
Pochettino.
I were Potter, right, I would wait until all this situation happens. Rodgers is on the brink of getting sacked. Moyes is also not doing good with West Ham. And then you have Gerrard with Aston Villa. All these 3 clubs will be a more, I would say, suitable club for him to move on with next
Gerrard-
chapter.
Gerrard to Leicester,
Yeah.
though. Posh to Leicester, man. Pochettino to Leicester, man.
Available managers, who is out there? Big Sam?
Wow, big Sam, man.
Big Sam, oh my gosh.
who else
But-
would
but-
there be? There's no one else, right? Who else is a decent name for Leicester? Knowing full well that they are not going to be backed with money.
Villas
Ranieri
Boas?
lah.
Claudio Ranieri,
Bring
bro.
back Ranieri lah.
Oh,
Claudio Ranieri, yeah. Bring
Fairy
back.
tale.
Why not?
Isn't he a director or something, like football director somewhere or what now? No,
Football director.
As
Ranieri.
in, I thought he was doing some national team role or what? No,
See,
I don't know. So
Yeah.
Hey, Santos. Nuno Santos.
Oh, yeah,
but
Nuno
Nuno Santos really is the manager of the Arabic
Arabic, yeah,
League.
Arabic League. Yeah, he was Arabic League.
Villa Boss is
So I don't
available.
think it's him, yeah.
Yeah, correct. Ranieri. Recently. Oh yeah, he's available, sir. Ranieri.
Oh, I know who. Scott Parker.
Oh! Scott Parker. Wow. The
Ranieri got
merry-go-round.
sacked from Watford lah. That's why he's available, right? His last
Yeah.
team is Watford.
Watford, okay.
Start early this year lah. Anyone but Poch.
Pochettino's going Leicester, bro. Pochettino's going Leicester, man.
Yeah, but this is like what I say lah. It's a Spurs. Leicester won't be able to pick up the momentum lah. 5 games, 5 losses, last 5 games is already a very bad form lah. It's relegation form already lah. Even though it's still early in the season, but it's really still bad lah.
I think it's the worst.
I don't believe my club can
It's
win.
the worst time. Serious? Because of
Okay lah, but Spurs home, I have to give it lah. But if it's away, I think I'm very sure Leicester will win. I'm very
you're
sure.
doing a you're
Leicester,
doing a T-burn. No, you're shitting on your
reverse psychology. Come on, no, you're the
we are never
better.
good away, man. We are never good away.
But
Okay
it's,
lah,
but it's
yeah,
only
yeah,
what? It's
home,
only like 7, 8 games through the season. I mean, adding to the Champions League, the European games. It's still too
We are more of
early.
a home game. We are home.
Yeah, but it's a home
games.
game,
We
right?
play home game.
Okay.
Just got the fans riling up for Conte, but if it's like away, you only have the away side to rob, so it's like home disadvantage.
But you guys are third in the league at the moment, you know.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
And
like
my team Liverpool is in 7th place and are struggling to get 3 points. And yet I still have confidence in my team, and you are saying that first.
Exactly.
reverse psychology lah. This one.
No, I believe I'm a Spurs. I know I'm a Spurs fan. That's how I live being a Spurs fan. seeing my club bottle lah.
No
No
one.
one does a
That's
T-burn, bro.
that's talent. No one does a T-burn, bro. Only T-burn do a T-burn.
Pochettino in, Pochettino.
Okay. So we talk. Okay. So
Rogers in lah for Steven lah.
so Spurs.
Rogers in.
Spurs to win, huh? Okay. Second last game. Brentford versus Arsenal. Wow. Brentford at home.
Boogie
And
team.
then it's Arsenal's boogie team lah. But I think I don't know. I mean, I feel that Arsenal may pick up their game after that loss lah. The last game they lose, right? I think there's a high possibility that they will bounce back. So I feel that, but it's not gonna be it's gonna be a fight lah. Definitely, Brentford will not go down without fighting lah. I mean, it's gonna be a 2-1 win to Arsenal lah. Definitely, this is Arsenal's game to lose actually, because even though Brentford is playing at home, but I think with Arsenal, with the team that they have, and after definitely they want to bounce back after the loss. So
But
I think
our viewers think likewise. We have T-burn saying 2-1 to Brentford. And also Haikal saying 3-1 to Brentford.
And then,
Man, I'm unpopular opinion.
unpopular opinion.
But then again, you have to see, their last game was the loss to Man U, right?
Yeah,
They lost to
everyone.
Man U, right?
yeah.
And to be honest, I don't know how many fans were actually watching the game. Arsenal did not play poorly.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
know,
they didn't play poorly.
they
They were not bad.
were caught. I mean, obviously, if you're down, you will attack. You will leave holes at the back. They were caught on the break. Very good through ball finish,
Yeah.
and it happens. It happens. But it's not like they played. It's not like they played poorly. They still are a very, very good team.
Yep. Agree.
Tips.
Hey,
Has
Jesus
Jesus lost the
Jesus
lost the
didn't lose
scoring?
it, man. Jesus still up there, bro.
Wow, this one Jesus is Judas. Oh,
They.
yeah.
You
This
can
one
speak to the man up there now. You can speak to the man up there now.
This one very sensitive. I cannot comment. Huh?
Joking lah.
But if you look at it, I mean, what we say lah. The thing is that Arsenal didn't play badly against United the last
Not
game.
at all.
No.
Yeah, so I feel that maybe I feel that Arsenal will bounce back in that sense, because the fact that they didn't play badly against United and Brentford, I think is a wow. Buto. Okay, this context is because Tips was saying Jesus is Judas. we do not want to get cancelled, everybody. We just that's the most important part here. We need to reiterate that we do not want to get cancelled. We were talking about Gabriel Jesus. Yeah, but I think what Tip say lah. Gabriel Jesus is not exactly losing the scoring touch lah. It's just that it's just one game. I think this is the game that Arsenal will bounce back, even though Arsenal is playing away. But I think it's going to be a close fight. But Arsenal is going to nick it lah, 2-1 lah. Okay, final game: Everton versus West Ham. Momentum-wise, Everton and West Ham is kind of like the 16 versus 18. And
Yeah.
Everton
level on points,
interestingly,
right?
Yeah, and the best part,
Everton haven't
Everton
won a
is
game
drawn.
yet,
No?
right?
Yeah, it's like they draw the last 4 games, no?
Who,
They haven't won
Everton?
a game yet, right?
Yeah, they lost the last time they lost was against Aston Villa, lah, But other than that, they were drawing the games, and it's like 1-1, and against Liverpool it was 0-0. But West Ham, however, but then again, West Ham also momentum is like they lost to Chelsea 2-1. It's not exactly like a comprehensive win for Chelsea. So I think I don't know. I think Jif, pick it up, man. Your blue rival. I know. Okay lah. I mean, you definitely said don't want Everton to win lah. That's for sure. Huh?
Yeah, but looking at both teams at their current forms, I think it's gonna be a draw game. I don't see any team's gonna either one of the teams gonna come out as a winning team. It's gonna be a draw team. I think I'm gonna go with T-burn score 1-1 draw.
No, Steven says 1-1 draw.
Yep.
It's gonna be a very subdued 7 games this weekend lah.
So who's gonna score for Everton then? Anthony
Yeah,
Gordon?
Everton.
Gordon.
Gordon lah. Anthony Gordon, the in boy for Everton, what? Calvert Lewis is out.
Either
injured.
Gordon or Skamaka will score an own goal.
Oh, Skamaka. Oh, Skamaka haven't scored right, for us for West Ham, right?
No, I don't
Europa,
think he already-
Europa,
He's
Europe,
got
Europe,
conference.
Europe. He's got.
Oh, Europe
Europe.
he scored.
Okay.
Yeah.
See, tips the second oracle already. Who else? Noah, Gordon lah.
Grey lah. Got Grey what.
They got,
Then we
wait,
have-
New Maupe what. New Maupe.
Oh, 1-1 Haikal. Okay, Haikal, Brentford and Arsenal. Okay, this is 1-1 for the Everton West Ham. Yeah, I
Everton
think,
West Ham game, yes, correct.
Paqueta for West Ham. Interesting, Paqueta. But then it's his first game, right? Since joining West Ham, right? Did he play? No, not yet, right?
Did he play? I don't think he played, right?
I
Paqueta.
don't think so. So it's a away game, so I don't think lah. I feel Tip is just come on lah, debut lah, away game. I don't think he's gonna score lah.
He came on for one game though.
He's involved
West
one
Ham
game.
Spurs.
Come on, it's a
West Ham
sub, is it?
Spurs.
sub,
Was
West
he
Ham.
sub?
Sub.
Was he sub in? Second
Think
game.
so.
Oh, second game. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Alright.
Thanks, Tips, for the info. He played the last game, bro. Thanks, brother. Thanks for the info.
Oh.
Okay.
Solid lah tips.
Sweet Tips. Okay, everybody. With that, finally, I met my target of not shooting to 2 hours. I never did an Anwari.
That's because
For the
Anwar is
comment.
not in lah.
Yeah.
Not because Anwari is not in. Okay, everyone, thank you for those who have commented. Thank you for watching the show. It's a very subdued week, but most important thing is there's gonna be 7 games for this weekend. It's not gonna be postponed for all the games. So if you're not following us, share our social media. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, TikTok. Comment, keep sharing this video. We would love to have these 5 million viewers so far. Thank you so much for staying on.
Yep.
Very subdued show, but it's very comprehensive because our banters are not insider jokes. We were very Talk Sport, Sky Sport rubbish. But
Anyways, please show
Yeah.
Diwaka's comment.
Oh, Diwakar. The guy who was supposed to come in.
Good morning, Diwaka.
We were dragging the Chelsea topic for so long for him to come
Exactly.
in.
We were waiting, but he never turned up. Why he never turned up? Still
Anything
game,
for that shot, D.
Hashtag. Anything for
Gentleman.
that shot.
Still
Gentleman.
on the sliding tackle, lah, right?
Oh, I think the sliding tackle lah, the TikTok sliding tackle.
Yeah.
Okay,
Anything for Nep Shoy lah.
Snapshot, yeah.
Snapchat is again, lah.
Okay, everybody, with that, we are wrapping up. Oh, wait, we're gonna say. I'm sorry, guys. Never mind, Dean. It's okay. Next, I don't think we will have a show next week, but then again, just look out for our announcement. We will definitely want to review this weekend's game lah. So likelihood we're gonna come back again in Tuesday and Thursdays. Like what I mentioned, follow us on our social media. We also have our futsal team. So if you want to play for a futsal team, DM us on our social media and we will add you into the WhatsApp group and then can join us for futsal. Okay. And with that, 1 hour 47, less than 2 hours. I managed to keep it below 2 hours and not do an un. Sunil, thank you. Jeef, my brother, thank you. Pantelet Noah, thank you for coming in last minute. And on behalf of the Napshot crew, the chat sheet got bang gang. I'm Haizam. We are signing out. Good night. Have a good weekend, everybody.
Adios.
Adios.